Hi, I'm Julie Meyers Pron, and I'm going to talk a little bit about No Child Left Behind and the testing requirements. We don't have national assessments done for elementary and middle and high school kids until they get to the optional SATs. However, each state has their state assessments that they do that are required, and they're killing our schools. It's a part of No Child Left Behind because No Child Left Behind gives a ranking or an expectation, and the United States is expecting the kids to be able to pass whatever it is that your state adapts to do the testing on. So the question is, why do I feel that this ruins our schools? These tests ruin our schools because so much for the educators is riding on it. In some cases, there's discussion of teacher salaries to be riding on how their students perform on a test. And look, if I need a motivation to get an extra $10,000, then guess what? I'm throwing the curriculum out the window and I'm teaching to the test. And that's where we're failing our kids. We are taking so much out of the child's education, the child's imagination and creativity and differentiation, because we're being expected to teach these kids to perform. Now, it's not, in fact, most cases, it's not teacher salary. But in Pennsylvania and most other areas that I've heard of, the schools get money when their students do well, or they lose money. The schools will lose money and funding when their students are not performing well. And in Pennsylvania, if consistently the children don't perform well, the school could lose its state funding all over. And it's a public school, and this is happening in this area. And this is a problem because, while I do agree that we expect our students to learn in school, we expect our teachers to teach them in school. We have a responsibility to the students to make sure that they are learning around their minds. They're learning not just what they're going to be tested on in reading and in math and in writing, but they should be learning science, and they should be learning social studies and history and community development, social skills, physical education, art, music. All of those other areas are unfortunately being cut and not being focused on as much because the children are being taught to take tests. I applaud the schools that say, yes, you have these tests and we're not going to worry about them. Unfortunately, that's happening less and less because of the state pressure. What can we do? Well, first of all, stop giving these tests. Find other ways to assess whether or not the schools are teaching. And there are other ways. You know, have visitors, state visitors come in and judge the school, and do it on a very calm basis. You know, don't make the school feel they have to perform for the next 2 weeks because there's a visitor there, but just interview teachers and interview students and walk around and get a feel for it. Yes, funding has to come from somewhere, and yes, it should be supported, and there should be a good reason for it, and we should reward the schools who are succeeding, but it shouldn't rely on students and how well they're testing. A teacher with a classroom that has below average students should not feel that she will not get paid as much money, or that she is failing her students because they're not doing as strongly on a test as someone across the hall or as someone in a different school area. She's succeeding with her students when her students are succeeding, and we don't need a test that stresses out the children to show us that. What we need the children to do is to learn at their levels, to learn to use their imagination, to learn through differentiated learning, and to be able to express their talents. No Child Left Behind is ruining our schools, and I really hope that we can find some way in government to do away with it and find another system that will work to help our students and our children to perform